financially mostly, from what I see. 'Cause, you know, it's all about, everybody wants to be a big shot, but they got to pay the price. You know, they have to know how to handle defeat.
That is, if I'm not mistaken, a 92-pound weight difference, almost a 100-pound weight difference. It's insane. Let's say he comes in at 200 pounds. It's still a 65-pound weight advantage, which is absolutely ridiculous.
I don't know what's going to happen with a 135-pounder going up against a 200-pounder, you know.
Mike Tyson has unleashed a fiery response to Jake Paul's shocking claim that he could beat Gervonta "Tank" Davis. The former heavyweight legend, famous for his knockout power and raw honesty, wasted no time blasting Paul's bold prediction. While Tyson has occasionally supported Jake's boxing rise, he stressed that facing a pound-for-pound superstar like Davis is an entirely different challenge. Tyson reminded fans that viral fame and YouTube success don't equal elite boxing dominance. His blunt warning makes it clear when it comes to real championship-level fighters, the gap between entertainment boxing and true greatness remains massive.
Quite surprised because it sounded like Jake Paul and Joshua was getting closer and closer for January. However, there have been rumors of Gervonta Davis versus Jake Paul in the past. I think with Gervonta Davis's kind of legal problems in the last month or so and rumors about his retirement, I don't think it's a massive shock that he is taking this Jake Paul fight if it is going to go ahead, purely for the reason that it's a lot of money for maybe not the most difficult job that he's going to have in his career. So it's a strange one, but yeah, it's just another kind of day in the sport, really, isn't it?
The highly anticipated clash between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis is officially set for November 14th at the Casa Center in Miami. Originally planned for Atlanta, the fight was relocated after the Georgia Athletic Commission raised major concerns about the dangerous weight disparity between the two headline stars.
Oh my days. Jake Paul versus Tank Davis. Is this real? This can't be real. Because he was talking about fighting Joshua, which is heavyweight. And now he's saying about fighting Tank. Nah, this can't be. It's Netflix as well. I need to go and do some checks and see if like the main pages have posted this. But Jake Paul's posted it. It says Friday, November 14th. It's in Atlanta, State Farm Arena. This is random, no?
Jake Paul, boasting 12 victories with 7 knockouts and 1 defeat, has transformed influencer fame into a lucrative boxing career, fueled by blockbuster crossover fights, viral marketing power, and multi-million-dollar business ventures.
People are like so fucking insecure. I kind of lost myself in the whole entertainment world, and so when I found boxing, it gave me that like routine, that discipline. I got to like take time for myself in these boxing camps, and every day for training I had to like meditate. And boxing gave me the ability to like reflect on myself and like realizing who I was and who I wanted to be, and that helped me mature. You get addicted to that validation from others, and that's something that I realized that I had to face. And like, why do so many people want clout? I'm not good enough. I need followers. I need likes. It's driving a lot of our generation because they're working so hard to get this external validation.
Jake Paul steps into the spotlight with an impressive 12 victories, 7 secured by knockout, and only a single defeat. Transforming from global influencer to legitimate boxing attraction, Paul has built a powerful brand through viral crossover fights, record-breaking pay-per-view events, and lucrative business ventures. His ability to blend entertainment, marketing, and athletic performance has redefined boxing promotion, making him not just a fighter, but a multi-million-dollar industry phenomenon.
25 is at the next year, I'm out of it.
After our second fight. You're out of it?
Yeah,
Care to elaborate on that?
out of the sport.
After our second fight. Nah, no, I'm gonna win, bro.
Nah, I could tell you my fights.
Who do you think will win between Jake Paul and Gervonta?
But I don't know. It should be Gervonta, right? but the weight size and everything, we'll see. It's a fun entertainment.
Mike Tyson, who once shared the ring with Jake Paul, is urging caution as Paul gears up for a potential clash with Gervonta "Tank" Davis. Tyson knows the spotlight and pressure Paul thrives under, but he also warns of the brutal reality of facing a world-class knockout artist like Davis. While Paul brings size, reach, and youth, Tyson highlights that Tank's explosive speed, technical brilliance, and devastating power erase those advantages quickly. Tyson's warning isn't hype, it's a reality check. The fight may generate massive pay-per-view revenue, but Jake must balance the fame and fortune against the very real risks to his career and legacy.
I think Gervonta Davis is probably the greatest fighter around now, but he's got a tough fight coming up. You know, he's the top dog, there's no doubt about it. He's showed that, but Barrios, he's a pretty good fighter. Last time I saw him fight, he was pretty durable.
Eddie Hearn has voiced strong concerns about Jake Paul's clash with Gervonta, stressing that it's far more than entertainment. It's a dangerous gamble. He highlights the massive size difference, the potential safety risks, and the real possibility that Paul could leave the ring seriously hurt, while acknowledging the huge financial upside and viral attention the fight will attract. Hearn warns that such a mismatch could derail Paul's long-term goals, including a mega bout with Anthony Joshua. He admits the commercial value is undeniable, but insists health should outweigh profit. For Hearn, the real issue is clear. Jake Paul isn't just risking his record, he's risking his future.
We know that Gervonta is going to fight Jake Paul in November, and then we'll see what happens if there's an AJ fight. It'd be interesting to go from Gervonta Davis to Anthony Joshua, but I don't think the Chavez fight is terrible. I think it's a smart bit of business.
I think it's extremely dangerous for Jake Paul. You know, I've got the general feedback is the boxing world saying, please, AJ, go in and evaporate this young man from the boxing world so we can all get on as normal. You've got Jake Paul fans thinking bizarrely they can beat Anthony Joshua. And the most bizarre thing out of everything is that Jake Paul genuinely believes he will beat Anthony Joshua. I think that's the only reason we're going to see this fight. But I truly believe you're going to see it at the beginning of 2026.
Carl Froch, the former super middleweight champion, voiced major safety concerns over Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis. He highlighted the alarming 65-pound weight difference, stressing Paul's recent bouts at cruiserweight near 200 pounds, while Davis competes at lightweight, around 135 pounds, raising serious questions about risk, fairness, and marketability.
I mean, I don't really take Jake Paul that serious. He can't really box. He can have a little fight, he can have a swing. He swings away, stands up straight, and he throws punches, but it's not professional boxing. Because when I watch him box, he does so much wrong. It's just everything's wrong. It's so bad. He's got leaky defence. He telegraphs his punches. Like, you put him in with someone his own size, it was a professional, and it's a mismatch. And you'll see that if he ends up fighting somebody. Tommy Fury, bless him, he's a pro boxer, but he's inexperienced. He's got no amateur pedigree. He's a raw novice, or maybe just above the raw novice. I was saying earlier, where would I put him in terms of levels? He'd do well to win a British title. He's at that sort of level, and then from British title to world level, it's like different worlds. It's like totally different. It's like a different sport.
Froch emphasized that in professional boxing, this fight likely wouldn't even be sanctioned due to extreme risk. He highlighted that Davis has never faced the raw power of someone with Paul's massive frame, warning that one heavy shot, especially a wild, looping punch, could cause devastating damage, potentially ending careers and raising serious safety concerns.
My name was mentioned at his press conference and he shit himself, and the fight was just absolutely fucking diabolical. Again, I've said before, he's not a professional boxer. He never will be. And he proves time and time again that he's not a professional fighter. So, Jake Paul, go on, piss off.
Carl Froch acknowledges Davis's technical skill, sharp movement, and calculated pacing could control moments of the fight. Yet he questions Davis's knockout power against Paul. Still, Froch warns Paul's massive weight advantage creates a dangerous, unpredictable, and potentially explosive challenge.
Just here at Los Naranjos in Viva, España, and I found out that Gervonta Davis is now fighting Jake Paul. So Jake Paul was supposed to be fighting AJ. Eddie Hearn announced 99% done, which we've just spoke about. What next for AJ? Potentially Jake Paul. But it now looks like that Jake Paul is fighting one of Anthony Joshua's legs. He's fighting Gervonta Davis, somebody who's a quarter of his size. I don't even know what's going on. Has Eddie Hearn been played? Let me know what you think, but
The AJ fight with Jake Paul's finished. Gervonta Davis, fake Paul, November. I don't know what's going on in the world of boxing. This is an absolute joke. What next for AJ? We'll get into this, and there's so many questions I want to get into in the next episode, but hope you enjoyed this one. And yeah, just thought I'd give you a quick update because the news has just come in and I'm just trying to relax and play a bit of golf, and I can't. I've got to get it off my chest. I'm going to add it to this video. Hope you enjoy it. Don't forget, if you haven't already, hit like, share and subscribe to the best channel in the business, Frotch on Fighting, and we'll see you very soon.
Unlike popular opinion, Chael Sonnen doesn't see this matchup as the one-sided affair most predict. Speaking on his YouTube channel, Sonnen explained, this isn't nearly as bad a fight as people believe. He compared it to the unrealistic Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua talks, highlighting a major difference. Sonnen emphasized the real problem lies outside the ring. Gervonta "Tank" Davis struggles with promotion. According to Sonnen, Tank simply can't market or hype a blockbuster event, reducing its overall commercial appeal and financial impact.
The exact opposite has happened. The opposite of fighting Anthony Joshua is not fighting nobody. The opposite of fighting Anthony Joshua is fighting Tank Davis. Okay. So there's one big glaring issue for me. It's just your partner being Tank Davis. Tank is not the guy that knows how to sell a fight. Tank cannot sell a fight in his own division. It could be a title fight, a contenders fight, a main event fight. He could be the favorite. He could be the underdog. Tank doesn't know how to bring that information to you guys in a way that is compelling. And Tank is already blinking in this situation. You have one guy who is argued amongst the pound for pound current greats in boxing. You have another guy that has suggested he should not even be allowed to box, that he should have to call it something different. He should not be licensed. He should not be ranked in the top 14. He should never be selected for a world title. Okay.
Joe Rogan consistently backs Jake Paul's legitimacy in boxing, stressing that most hate stems from his YouTube fame rather than his actual skills. Rogan highlights Paul's crisp technique, real punching power, and sharp offensive strategy, noting nothing about his fights appears fake or staged. He argues that Paul has proven himself against legitimate competition, and even former critics are slowly shifting, recognizing his growing credibility as a serious draw in the boxing world.
If Jake Paul wasn't Jake Paul, if he wasn't this YouTube guy, he was just a boxer, and you see a boxer knock out the former UFC welterweight champion, not just the former, but one of the best ever, knock him out with one punch like that, you're like, oh man, have you seen this Jake Paul dude coming up? He's f***ing for real. Because nothing about watching him fight, to me, screams like he's in over his head. Nothing. He looks like a real boxer.
Jake Paul's controversial victory over 58-year-old Mike Tyson has sparked heated debate across the boxing world. Critics argue it wasn't a real challenge, but a spectacle designed for views, money, and viral headlines. Many question Paul's commitment to the sport, claiming he targets fading legends instead of prime contenders. Boxing great Carl Froch dismissed the fight entirely, stating Paul's performance lacked authentic skill and credibility, fueling doubts about his long-term legacy.
Jake Paul, you've lost your mind if you think you can go toe-to-toe with Anthony Joshua. Listen, let's not get confused, guys. Let's not get confused. Yes, cool. Anthony, he took a big L with Daniel Dubois. But Daniel Dubois is not no joke, bro. He's not a joke. Do you know what I'm trying to say? He took an L there. But Jake Paul, I got the utmost respect of what he's done, how he's managed to navigate through the boxing world. Like, bro, it's so mad. And I can see this is like a 90%. It's happening. It's positioning, it's marketing already. Like, why would you see Jake Paul go face-to-face with Alexander Usyk if it's not to position for a fight for Saudi? Obviously, Jake Paul's going to fight Anthony Joshua. There's possibly going to be a Usyk against Tyson Fury 3 because obviously the last two were so close. But you never know. It can also be a Usyk against Derek Chisora. Do you know what I mean? You never know.
Buzz is exploding as Jake Paul edges closer to a blockbuster clash with Anthony Joshua, possibly set for early 2026. Manager Nikisa Badarian confirmed active negotiations, hinting at mega venues like Wembley Stadium. Paul continues, boldly calling out Joshua, insisting he has the power, confidence, and star appeal to deliver a historic upset.
Everyone's been wanting to see it happen. Who will be the king of the United Kingdom? And who will be the queen of the United... Too soon? I'm praying that boxing doesn't happen to this fight. And what I mean by that is politics. People trying to take more money than they deserve. Fuck the money. Get in there. Make fucking history. This is one of the biggest fights that could happen over this past decade. Make it fucking happen, Eddie Hearn. Make it fucking happen, Frank Warren. Make it happen, Tyson. Make it happen, Anthony Joshua. We don't need fucking excuses. Don't let boxing ruin this fight. Get in the fucking ring and fight like men.
Eddie Hearn, Joshua's promoter, believes the matchup could spark massive global buzz and deliver staggering financial rewards. Yet critics argue Joshua risks tarnishing his legacy by facing Paul, who many still see as an influencer turned entertainer rather than a true contender. Meanwhile, Paul is leveraging these rumors brilliantly, fueling hype and marketing himself as an unpredictable wild card in heavyweight boxing's billion-dollar landscape.
Let's talk about AJ ever so quickly. I watched Jake Paul the weekend. I feel a bit dirty saying that because I'm not a fan of his, but he did say after the fight that he's sort of having DMs or he's dropping text messages to AJ. They're having a chat about a potential fight. What's your view on that, Eddie?
Well, look, he's calling out Gervonta Davis, who is a 135-pound lightweight, and he's calling out Anthony Joshua, that's a heavyweight monster. I think Jake Paul is crazy enough to fight Anthony Joshua because the money would be absolutely obscene. It's a catastrophic mismatch that people would tune in to watch because it would lead to the end of Jake Paul. Hopefully not literally, but it's that dangerous that, you know, it's a fight that I don't think should really happen, if I'm honest. I would say about Jake Paul, and I've said this in a couple of interviews today, I do think you start after giving him a margin of respect. You know, I think this guy is going through the motions, he's putting the hard spars in. He just went 10 rounds with, yes, a washed-up fighter, but a former world champion that did train for that fight. But they're very clever in terms of the opponents that they pick. They're not going to gamble unless the money's out of control. And it wouldn't surprise me if Jake Paul, wanted to move forward with an Anthony Joshua fight. Honestly, AJ's coming tonight. He's not exactly looking at Jake Paul going, oh, that's my dream opponent. No. Would he go in there and give him a hiding for, you know, a massive chunk of money? Probably. I'd be saying, yeah, go on. I'd like to see it.
Stephen A. Smith has consistently blasted Jake Paul's boxing resume, claiming most of his opponents are either retired, inexperienced, or past their prime. He argues Paul has yet to prove himself against a true elite contender in the sport. Paul, however, countered by pointing to his attempts to secure a fight with Tommy Fury, insisting Fury initially avoided him. When the two finally clashed in February 2023, it was Paul's first real test against a legitimate, active boxer. The result? A split decision loss, handing Paul his first official defeat against a prime, well-established professional fighter.
You are beating up on dudes who don't box. They're not boxers.
I was on Disney Channel while these guys were winning UFC championships.
Okay.
You know, I was playing with Mickey Mouse while these guys were throwing arm bars and winning UFC championships. Everyone's, you know, analyzing my career, critiquing it, paying attention to it from day one, but you can't tell me who was Mike Tyson's first fight. You can't tell me who Muhammad Ali, who was his fourth fight. No one knows, but everyone's seen all of my fights. I tried to fight Tommy Fury. Yeah, I tried to fight Tommy Fury, and he backed out due to a rib injury. Undefeated, young prospect. He comes from the Fury family. You know, his brother's the heavyweight champion of the world. I tried to fight him, and he got scared.
Jake Paul faces sharp criticism from Stephen A. Smith for targeting boxing icon Mike Tyson. Smith insists that if Paul truly values credibility and financial legacy, he must fight opponents closer to his own age, skill level, and competitive standing.
I can't buy the hype at this particular moment in time. Now, I'll give Jake Paul credit for this. At least he's in the ring with a boxer. But 57 years old is 57 years old. And 57 years old and formally walking into a UFC fight as an audience member, as a patron with a cane, it's hard to me to believe a year later that you're going to be in any condition to really, really fight. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't know. And if you're Jake Paul, here's what I want to say to you. It's Mike Tyson, that's fine. It's a money fight, I get you, and you want to make money. But at some point in time, if you keep telling us that you're taking boxing seriously and you want to be recognized as a big-time boxer / fighter, you're going to have to fight somebody closer to your age, who is a contender at the very least in the sport and who lives with it every single day. Could you please get in the ring with somebody? Pretty please with sugar on top. I'm interested.
What did you think about the fight, Jake Paul? I hate it. And Jake Paul starting to piss me off. Mike Tyson is 57 years old, man. Jake Paul been training with professional boxing trainers for years. He takes the sport very, very, very seriously.
Thank you. So let me ask you, that's the question I have, because great kid, great businessman, by the way, amazing. And I know how he does all this, the character and the persona. We keep saying that he doesn't want to be a boxer. He's not a boxer. But then
Jake Paul is a boxer.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my point.
Exactly. He's a boxer.
He can fight. He can fight. I respect it. So go in there against fighters. You should be climbing the ladder towards those other fighters and taking the sport seriously to the point where you're fighting actual boxers. Now he decides to fight a fighter, a real fighter, which is Tyson. But Tyson is 30 years older. Stop this nonsense of going against dudes that either ain't boxing or is 25 years removed from the sport.
Will Jake Paul's power overwhelm Gervonta Davis, or will Tank's skill shut down the hype once and for all?